Hi friends, it's Jeannie, and today I'm sharing a card using 3 Room Studios Skate, Sleep, Repeat stamp set for their monthly sketch challenge. This is a wintry holiday set that I have had in my collection, and I thought it would be perfect for this sketch. I'm inking up the main Skater Girl using Ink on 3's Blackout ink, which is a hybrid ink that's good for watercoloring and Copic coloring. I'm also going to stamp the skater again on Eclipse masking paper so I can create a mask and color up the background quickly. I'm gonna also show you Ink on 3 stamp cleaner, which is the ink off stamp cleaner, and it's in a form of an ink pad. I've been loving it so much, so I wanted to share because I don't think a lot of people know about it and nobody really thinks about how they clean their stamps, but it does a really good job and I really love it. So I've been getting a head start on my Christmas cards, and I thought it would be perfect to combine this set and the sketch challenge. So 3 Room Studio has weekly challenges, and this week is their sketch challenge. They also have color challenges, and they have a case challenge, and then they just have an inspirational challenge. If you're interested, I'll be leaving the Facebook group link down below so you can join the group and maybe you can share your creations with everyone as well. For the first part of this scene, I am just going in with some of my BG Copic markers to create a skate rink, and I wanted to add a bit of texture, so I'm leaving the lines in there and not blending anything out. For the sky background, I am going in with some of my distress inks and coloring up the background. I go in with colorful colors, so then when I go in with the darker colors, they kind of peek through. And this is usually how I create a galaxy background or a nighttime scene. So whatever colors that you want incorporated, feel free to use. So I've used yellow before, oranges, you can use reds, anything, because you'll be covering this up with a darker color anyway, and it really works out once you add the white splatter. I feel like when I started creating these types of backgrounds, they looked like a hot mess. They didn't look good at all, but once you add that white splatter, everything just looks fine. And I think it's super magical. Distress ink backgrounds have always been my favorite, especially galaxy backgrounds, because you can make it look like a mess and it just looks great when you're finished with it. Right now, I'm adding in the layer of black soot, and the black soot will really darken up the sky background. And for some reason on my camera, it looks a little bit lighter than it does in person for some reason, maybe because I have my lights on and I filmed this at nighttime, but it's a little bit darker in person. I am just adding a bit of white splatter and my background is done. So I'll remove everything, and this is my favorite part about masking, is just the removal, and you get this clean image that you can go ahead and color up. So the skating rink looks really nice against that stark, dark background. And I'm just going to go in with some pinks and blues for the skater girl. As always, I'll leave all the colors, including the distress ink colors, down below in the description bar and in my supply list. So if you're interested, you can go ahead and look down there. I will say that while I was coloring this skater girl, the pinks gave me a really hard time. I find those really hard to blend for some reason. The RVs are just really vibrant and they seem to work a little bit differently than other Copic markers. So usually my go-to combination for pink is R81, R83, and R85, but I like the brightness of the RVs, but it does take a bit of blending and going in again to blend the colors together. So I do end up blending these colors a lot more than I would the R81 colors because I wanted the pink to stand out. It was well worth it, and I just need more practice using them because I am trying to find other color combinations because I'm very stuck with the colors that I normally use, which is great because that means I don't need to get as many Copic markers. Sometimes I'm looking for shades that I just don't have in my collection, so I am trying to expand, especially now that the Copic refills are sort of back. They were gone for a while because they're changing their packaging, and some of my markers have gotten a little bit dry, so it's been a little frustrating and a little tricky to use colors that aren't dried up. And of course, I was supposed to go to Japan this summer because of COVID. That didn't happen, and I was actually hoping to buy a ton of Copic markers while I was over there because they're so much cheaper over there. Last summer, my friend actually went to Japan and picked me up a ton of markers, and I paid maybe like $3 for each Copic marker, which is awesome. So I finished all my coloring, and I went ahead and die cut a rectangle because this is the main panel for the sketch that I am using for this card. And I was going to just toss the remaining piece of that card panel and matte this entire card on black, but I thought it'd be cool to pull in that as a background. So I am also using a gray card panel with some silver cardstock, and I wanted to add a bit of interest to that card panel, and I just do that by pulling out the smaller stamp images in this set. So these are just little floral images. There's a dot, there's a heart, and a lot of these smaller images in stamp sets are forgotten, but they're great for creating backgrounds. So I just put them on acrylic block because I'll be stamping them all over this gray card panel and covering up the entire thing. And this is usually what I would do if I had a very plain background. I would just add a little bit of interest by using those smaller stamp images because, you know, they're so small and you want to use everything that you've purchased. So usually when I have a stamp set, I try to use all the images within a stamp set. So this will be the panel, and I work really hard to cover up the entire thing, even though part of this will be covered up by that silver glitter cardstock. So I'm not really sure why I'm trying so hard to cover up all the pieces, but I just was in the mindset and just decided to stamp it all. That will go right on top of the excess piece of my panel, and then my silver cardstock, and then the main skater girl. So there's this little piece that looks like it's taping it down, taping the card panel down. So it kind of looks like washi tape. So I just trim out a piece of that silver cardstock to do that. I am also using the sentiment from this stamp set for this card, and it fits perfectly right underneath the skater, even though there is another stamp image in this set that is circular and it fits perfectly there. But I didn't have any more room to pull in that stamp image either, so I decided that the sentiment will go directly below the skater girl, and it works out well. I'm just adhering everything together according to the sketch. I actually have it pulled up on my phone to my left so I can refer to it to make sure that it looks similar. And of course, you can use your imagination with these sketch challenges. Sometimes people are super creative and it's really, really impressive, but I tend to follow sketch challenges to the T. So I need to work on getting outside the box for those, but I think that sketch challenges are fun because this isn't something that I would normally put together. I am not a multi-layer card maker, and quite a few of these have kind of made me into one. So I hope you enjoyed this card. It's another holiday card in my series. I'll have the playlist down below, and if you're interested, the Facebook group will be listed as well. So I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.